when you hear your first Billie Holiday record and you think, I want to do that more than anything in the universe. And when you see your first concert, which for me was Odetta, and you think, I want to be up there. And then you start looking at the writers, the Lennon McCartneys and Dylans, and then go back to Irving Berlin, and you go back to Frank Lesser, and you think, I want to write that well. And then you spend the rest of your life trying to reach that mark.
I think it's that you get chills, that inspiration feeling. I get that every time I listen to Prince. He's my greatest influence, and you just feel like you can go out and do anything. When you listen to them, when you see them perform, you feel like you can get out there and do whatever you want. So that's my feeling.
Yeah, I would have to completely agree.
I thought I was going to say, I would totally disagree.
No, when I was a kid, as soon as I heard, that bass guitar and that guitar in my ear, didn't matter who it was. It could be Earth, Wind and Fire or
John Taylor.
Yeah, or even, some of the hip hop groups out today, and it just didn't matter. I would just, I had to do it. That's what I do, and stupidly, that's what I spent my life doing. So.
Well, it was a big rush for me to, when I got a rush. I don't know about the rest of the cats, but each night I do a song. There's something there of an artist that influenced me to do the song or whatever, and I go, wow, on this song I'm Bo Diddley. Then the next song I go, on this song I'm Johnny Cash. On this song I get to be Mick Jagger. So those are my influences, and I'm fortunate enough in my job to be able to have that, looking forward to that every night when I go to work.
You just see something or hear something that's absolutely so moving that it changes who you are and how you approach something. So I think what we do today is we're talking about people like Rodney Crowell and Emmylou Harris and Ed Sheeran and George Thorogood and these guys that come. When you hear some of their stuff, it just hits you so hard that it might change something that you think about doing, or I'll try that. And that's how things evolve and change.
Specifically by music, when I am influenced by something, it takes over your whole body. It's a physical feeling of like, oh my God, I love this. And you can't exactly pinpoint why, but it just sounds perfect to you. And it inspires you. And like when I get that feeling, it's like happiness. It's like suddenly you know everything and you are capable of anything.
Oh gosh, well, being influenced is sort of like one of those things that comes, down from inside of you. That voice that you go, well, who's that? But you have to listen to them. And I think we all have influences in our life, and in particular, I think artists, who are kind of searching to let themselves out. Are probably better at opening up that filter of their influences than maybe some of us that aren't as creative as someone who can, write a song or perform a song. But influence is, we ought to all take stock of who have influenced us in the past.
Being influenced is to be inspired, and that's the greatest thing in the world. That's sort of what wakes us up and gets us out of bed every day.
What is the greatest innovation that you think has happened to the industry in the past 5 years?
Digital.
Yeah.
We were in another band, I won't say the name of it, that was on Elektra Records, and it cost us so much money to go in the studio and record everything. And this band, we record most of the stuff at our house, our home studio, and then take it to we don't even see our producer half the time. We just send him the files through, Dropbox, and he produces it, sends it back, and it goes out to radio, and never leave our house. And it's just
I like that. Everything's so fast, and the universe wants you to move fast. So it's much easier to do that now.
Yeah.
I'm an old school guy. I like to hear the old wax albums. I like to hear the hiss. I like to hear analog tape. I'm kind of loving the new Dave Grohl thing that he went and did it in his garage. It's like, I think the innovation is stepping back a little bit and trying it the old school way.
Sharing music online, which is actually how I first got into it. I put some songs on MySpace, and that was how I met, for example, my manager, and then just everyone that's kind of helped me along the way early on. They found me on the internet. So just the fact that it's now so available to us, and it's all just waiting to be discovered.
The last 5 years, I think we've sort of gone from talking about technology as being a distribution form to now really starting to get to the point where technology can be a connection between the fan and the artist. And so that conversation, we're just at the tip of the iceberg. the ability to personalize to hundreds of thousands of people, and to create a relationship that a fan feels fulfilled. I mean, when a fan goes to a show, listens to a record, buys a T-shirt, I mean, they're excited. But when they feel like they've connected with the artist, then they're fulfilled. And those are lifelong relationships. And so, in the past, artists didn't necessarily do that. They would, drop an album, and then they'd disappear for 18 months. And maybe they'd show up in your hometown, and you'd read about it in Rolling Stone that they're coming, and for 90 minutes or 2 hours, you got to see them, and then they were gone for 18 months. That's not relationships. If that's the way we loved, none of us would ever further any relationships. So
the greatest innovation, I would say, is digital recording. Yeah, it's the greatest thing in the universe. It allows young people to make music like they're playing video games.
I'm here to tell you, honey, that I'm bad to the bone. Bad.